And here to begin that discussion, we bring in our great friend and distinguished senator from Wyoming, Dr. John Barasso. Senator Barasso, it's a pleasure. You got to save me here. It's a pleasure to see you today. So, you know, this is economic diplomacy. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It violates American traditions and whatnot. But let me just ask you, have you spoken to your colleagues? I'm sure you all are sort of at least distantly aware of this. Can you stop this? Because even though we're giving up our sovereignty to the G20, it still has to pass the Senate, as far as I know. What you thinking?
Well, and as we say here in Wyoming, there's no sense shooting yourself in the foot. And that's what the Biden administration wants to do here with this global tax plan. They want to do it so they can raise taxes on American companies, American families. All of this is going to make us as a nation less competitive, not more competitive. I see that the 7 other largest economies are also on board because they want to raise their taxes. I find it interesting that India and China say, oh, they'll play along. Look, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. As you just said, China cooks the books. You also know that they manipulate their currencies. I'm a member of the Foreign Relations Committee as well as the Finance Committee. You have a solid group of Republicans. We're going to do everything we can to stop this in its tracks.
You know, Senator, I just don't understand the logic of raising taxes on American companies. Why do we want to do that unless we hate them, unless we hate the system that they represent? I mean, who does this group in Team Biden think creates jobs and wages? They're companies. You can't have a good job and a high wage without a prosperous company. What is, it's like the world has been turned on its head, Senator Barasso. I just, these are not dumb people. I mean, Yellen's not dumb. Yellen was a perfectly good Fed chair. She's left of center. I get that. But this is extremist stuff, isn't it, Senator?
Well, I think it is. It's kind of like the goose that lays the golden egg, and that's the American economy. And to get all the gold at once, they're going to kill the goose. I mean, this is a terrible mistake on the part of this administration, especially coming out of a pandemic. They want to spend so much money. They're trying to come up with any way possible to get it. This, they think, is an easy way to do it. And I think it's a very dangerous way to do it in the terms of the long-term interest, Larry, of our economy.
I want to get to your wonderful op-ed piece in a second, but while you're at it, talking about all the big spending, you know, is there a 2 or 3 sentence? Where are we on this infrastructure, reconciliation, entitlement, Green New Deal, massive tax hike packages going through? What do you make of it right now, sir?
Yeah, Joe Biden is walking the tightrope. And at the same time, the Democrats want him to walk the plank. They want him to not sign anything on physical infrastructure unless he agrees that he will only do so if he also agrees to the Bernie Sanders $7 trillion really budget-busting bill of all time. So many expensive, unaffordable, unnecessary liberal wish list policies in that. So anybody that's watching this, you'd get dizzy watching Joe Biden tie himself into knots as he tries to tell everybody what they want to hear at a time when the Democrats are saying, you're not getting any physical infrastructure unless we, the Democrats, get free child care, free college tuition, free or so-called climate justice. Oh, and oh, by the way, there's a portion in that also for citizenship, a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants. And it looks like Nancy Pelosi is on board on all of it because that's what she told her conference the other day.
You know, Senator, my experience, so I work for 2 presidents. You've been working with many presidents, and you've been a senator for a long time. My experience, sir, when a president says something, his or her first instinct, okay, is the one you believe. The walk back, the blue smoke and mirrors, the White House aides, you know, I was in that gang, the White House, it's really his first, I mean, I went through this with Reagan years ago. Reagan would say stuff that he believed, and then everyone would start jumping on him, even including inside the White House, and try to get him to walk back. But what he said first was what he believed. See, what Biden said first, that there's got to be a linkage between 2 packages, that's the view. I don't care what these others say. That's what he really wants.
And that's why there is not going to be a single Republican in the country who's going to sign on to that, Larry. They cannot be handcuffed together. Even the members that I've talked to with the bipartisan group, the Republicans there, they are very reluctant to going forward unless these two things are completely decoupled. And it's not just enough for Joe Biden to say that. Pelosi and Schumer have to get on board as well. And as right now they are not, which means to me Joe Biden still has a lot of work to do if he plans to pass either of the proposals that will be for the Senate in the summer and in the fall.
Yep. So your op-ed piece, I think this ran on Fox website. You have an important point that nobody has talked about it. We had one economist, a chap named Mark Mills from the Manhattan Institute about a month ago. But you say China, for example, dominates the supply chain of copper, lithium, cobalt, rare earths, and other critical minerals. The Muslim Uyghur minority in China is used as forced labor in the production of solar panels. Cobalt mining in the Congo is notorious for child labor. So you're saying all these renewable technologies, quote unquote, we couldn't do this even if we wanted to. We don't have the minerals. We don't have the critical resources. In fact, this administration wants to shut down mines, not open them. So we would be putting our whole security in the hands of China. This is a good piece. I encourage people to look at it on the Fox News website. You're the only one so far that really seems to get this.
Well, and the additional part of it is, since it's Independence Day weekend, I talk about our energy independence, and Joe Biden has surrendered that. We have gone from energy dominance to energy dependence. And you know what happened when you were in the White House with President Trump. He unleashed American energy. We, for the first time in 70 years, became an energy net exporter. We brought in 1 million new jobs as a result. And yet you can kind of just feel Biden's hatred of American energy. He drew a target on the day one in office. On the back of American energy, he pulled the trigger, killed the XL Keystone pipeline. And that's why people today on the 4th of July are going to be paying about $1 more a gallon for gas than they were last year because of the policies of this administration. So it's energy, it's also the critical minerals, and we have a number of those minerals in the United States, but the environmentalists, Larry, will not allow us to mine them here. So we continue to be dependent on China and foreign sources. And when it comes to China, my 2 words are never again.
Boy, you know, I had this, by the way, in the NEC and the NSC over uranium. We wanted to keep the uranium mines open. Remember, we had discussions with that. You and I talked about that. You can't do it. You're going to have to subsidize them. You're going to have to subsidize them. Nobody likes subsidies. But once you close a mine, it takes 1 million years to reopen it. That's what everybody told me, including yourself, including Senator Hoeven and others. But the thing is, Senator, I'll end on this, that even if you believed that you wanted no more combustion engines and oil and gasoline, which I don't. I totally don't believe it. But even if you believe that, and even if you believe electric vehicles was the only way, we can't do it physically because of the points you make. Copper, lithium, cobalt, rare earths, and other critical, we don't have it. We can't do it. So what are these people thinking with, like GM, 5-year deadlines and 10-year deadlines? They're nuts. They become crazy people. It's not physically possible. It would take 100 years. I hope it doesn't happen, but it would take 100 years. Otherwise, if you try, Senator, and I'll give you the last word here, you'll just wreck our entire economy trying.
Well, you're absolutely right. They tell a good story, but they don't do the math. And the math is so critical on this. Look, we need all the energy. We need the critical minerals. We need to not be dependent on China for any of those things. We have the opportunities and the resources in the United States. We need to use them. We need to not be afraid to use them. And we have an administration that is fearful in so many ways of using what we have, using energy, which, you know, as a resource. It's called the master resource for a reason, because it powers our economy, it powers our military, it powers this country. But Biden is surrendering on that and on so many things. And we have a lot of work to do. You have a strong Republican Party and members of the Senate. It's a 50-50 Senate. It should be a mandate to move to the middle. the left is going further and further to the left. We're going to do everything we can to basically derail this freight train of Biden and Pelosi and Schumer that want to take us to socialism.
Happy July 4th, Senator Barasso. Don't forget, Thomas Jefferson, Adam Smith, they're all watching, they're all looking down on us to make sure that we preserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, sir. I know it's been your life's work. We're happy to have you. Thanks again for helping us out. Senator John Barasso, take care.